Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2025 Astrological Predictions. Aloha! I hope that you are doing well. We are going to dig into the nitty-gritty of what you can expect for January 2025. I've got an ephemeris here below me, as well as some notes, as well as some astrological charting directly in front of me as well. So I'm gonna be referencing all three, so you'll see me like looking in several different places, but just know that I am here for you, Sagittarius. So let's look at the big picture first and foremost. We're going to look at the movement of the sun. The sun is in the sign of Capricorn as we roll into January. And in the sign of Capricorn, this is in your second house. The second house has to do with movable goods, finances, cash flow, basically. And this is a time when you're going to need to work on organizing your financial stability. You may be focused on, how can you save more money? Where is your money going? Looking at budgets, things of that nature. So the first 3 weeks are favorable for focusing on financial growth and focusing on financial stability, paying bills, things of that nature. So strengthening your sense of self-worth through your material growth. Does that make sense? The moon moves into Aquarius at 1500 on January the 19th. This moves into your third house of communication. So it being your third house of communication, the latter half of the month, it will be favorable to focus on communication, how you communicate with others, email communication, social communication, anything related to technology or learning via technology is also favorable. This is a time when you can potentially expand your knowledge or kind of move outside of your comfort zone with regards to communication. Now, Mercury Mercury is normally the ruler of the third house, and Mercury in the month of December had gone from being retrograde to direct about the middle of the month. When that occurred, that's all dandy. We often think, okay, Mercury retrograde is over now, but technically it's not. You still linger under those energies for a couple weeks. And so you may have seen some miscommunications. This was in your house, actually. It was in your first house. Your first house would have been stirring up some, personal introspection, some delayed plans, focusing on any kind of, movement with regards to your personal identity, how you perceive yourself, your self-worth, things of that nature could have come into play during this time. And some old wounds may have been triggered in order for you to potentially heal them and move past them. There could have been delays in communication, delays in any areas of your life. And in the month of January, by the time you hit mid-January, all of that energy should be lifted. Anything that was on delay or felt like it was just like a constant battle to move something forward, you will now see some forward movement with that in the middle of January. So keep an eye out for it. It's also a great time to clear up any miscommunications that may have occurred in November and December because of that Mercury retrograde. Uranus, it stations direct on January 30th at 11:22. And it stations direct in the sign of Taurus, which is your sixth house. The sixth house has to do with work and routines and things of that nature. And so the sixth house, it involves like your health routines, your gym routines, what's your diet like? What is your daily routine? When do you get up in the morning? When do you get to work? What do you do from there? So there could be a revisiting of that area of your life. Because your Uranus was retrograde, and Uranus is the planet of freedom and rebellion, you may have found that you were struggling to kind of figure out your place in life with regards to that sort of thing, your routines, where are you going? Run into delays with gym routines, health routines, may have had some health struggles also. And so that is something to kind of keep in mind, that those particular energies may have been affecting you as you move towards the end of January. Once you're on a stations direct, obviously you'll still be under that energy for a little bit, but at least there will be some forward movement and some change. Now, next, the full moon and the new moon. Full moon is in Cancer on January the 13th at, I believe, 1726, 5:26 in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. And this is in your 8th house of transformation. So I like this and I don't like this for you, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it's in your 8th house of transformation, and we see a full moon. So transformations often brings endings and new beginnings, right? Full moons often bring ending and new beginnings. So you may see something come to an end that you weren't expecting. Know that it's for your good, and it's to open up the possibility of something new to bring about transformation. So you may see that mid-month. You may also find that your finances will become under scrutiny if they are shared finances between you and another individual. Let's say you are, sharing rent with you and another person. There could be a little bit of snafu regarding that, or some other expense that you may be sharing with another person. Oftentimes when we see that kind of full, 8th house energy and with these endings and new beginnings, that there can sometimes be some misunderstandings with the people that you are sharing finances with. So it's going to be important for you to focus on that sort of thing. Do not fudge on your taxes with this kind of placement at all, because that will come back to bite you in the arse much later. Okay, so make sure your taxes are 100% above board this year. Definitely. The new moon in Aquarius is on the 29th at 07:35. And the new moon in Aquarius is in your 3rd house of communication again. So now we go back to communication, networking. The new moon favors setting intentions regarding writing, networking, any kind of reconnecting with people via the internet. It also favors reconnecting with siblings. So that will be important to you as you move towards the tail end of January. Okay. Now let's talk about the negatives. Whoop, whoop. Hold up. Stop the presses. We got a couple difficulties coming for you. So I wanted to look at Chiron, Lilith. Chiron is the wounded healer. The wounded healer is in Aries during the month of January. This is in your 5th house, the 5th house of creativity, joy, fun, romance, children. And any of those areas could be affected by this energy of Chiron. Chiron brings up those fears, those insecurities, those difficulties, those struggles that you may have in this area. You could have struggles with a parent. You could have struggles with a child. You could have struggles with your romantic partner. Or you may have some fears and insecurity with regards to socially getting out into the world and experiencing joy and doing, things that make you happy. So this is something that you're being forced to face and continually learning the lesson, right? This could be like a continual lesson of, why do you attract the same person all the time? Why do you keep falling into this traumatic response with family? Why do you keep doing this, that, and the other? And so Chiron forces us to have to look at those things to be able to heal them and move forward and to get beyond them. So Chiron really pushes you when you might not want to be pushed. The black moon Lilith taps into our shadow side. These are those fears and insecurities you don't tell other people about. The ones that are up here, the ones that are in here, the ones that you just don't want to get out. You've got these fears and insecurities, and they may leave you feeling a sense of struggle. Now, black moon Lilith, when the shadow energy comes up, those fears and insecurities are not always founded. Think of the Eight of Swords tarot card, right? The Eight of Swords tarot card is those fears and worries that we get into in our own heads, in our own minds, and we have struggles to get beyond. So we see some energy here of something that needs to be faced, dealt with, and moved beyond in January. And black moon Lilith is going to be in Leo for you. So this is your 9th house of higher learning. The ninth house of higher learning is also the house of travel, the house of things that are kind of exotic. So this is a house in which you may confront fears and insecurities regarding travel, regarding your whether or not you've gotten enough education to be able to do your job, or whether or not you need to go back to school, or is school outside your reach, etc., etc. Or maybe you're at school now, and so there's some fears and insecurities about whether or not you're going to make the grades, whether or not you're going to do well on a test or do well on a paper, etc. So this is something that you're being forced to have to face in order to move beyond it. And so the reasoning behind this energy is great, but it's a tough energy to be dealing with. And both of those energies for Chiron and Black Moon Lilith, you will be seeing throughout the month of January. So it'll be a persistent theme that comes and goes throughout January. Vertex rules over fated encounters, and Vertex is in your third house. So you may, the third house of communication. So it's possible you could have some sort of serendipitous, karmic activity with regards to communication that can either push you forward or help you to see something that needs to be resolved. Oftentimes, though, it's more like that, when you're driving about and you see repeated numbers and you run across people that drive you forward on your long-term path and your long-term goals when you're not expecting it. This very likely could occur in the form of electronic communication, because we are talking about the third house. So I see that for you as well, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, let's talk about a couple of other aspects that I see for you. Mars trines Neptune on January the 12th. So Mars is in your adventurous sector, so it's going to be harmonizing with Neptune. And this could enhance your imagination. It's a great time for exploring spiritual matters or working on creative projects that inspire you. So seek out opportunities to connect with people and situations that involve your passions and your dreams. And you should see some movement in that in a very positive light. And that's on January the 12th, which is right the day before the full moon. So keep that in mind as well, okay? Mercury squares Neptune on January the 6th. Here we go back to communication issues that seem to kind of be coming and going throughout the month of January as well. So this would be communication surrounding your home or your family matters. And some things may be a little bit clear and confusing because of that square. Whenever there's a square, it's almost like a roadblock. And so this is that confusion that's going to set in. Your intuition may not be on point on January the 6th. Do not trust your intuition on January 6th. Focus on logic on January 6th. Be patient, because clarity will come in any kind of communication regarding commitments and decisions. Clarity will come later, but you may want to be careful about, not following your gut on that day. And it's very rare for me to say don't trust your intuition. That day, Sagittarius, not a good timing for you. Venus trines Mars on January the 25th. This is very harmonious because your confidence and your creativity will be boosted. So this is a good time to look at those travel fears that you needed to get past. See if you want to travel in the future, maybe plan some travel, learn something new, or even engage in an activity that's going to expand your horizons socially, mentally, heart-wise, where you're going to feel this sense of inspiration, growth, and joy. That's super important. The following day, Venus sextiles Uranus on the 26th. This could bring a potential opportunity in your home and family life that you will not see coming. And it comes out of left field. This could be financial support or a creative project, or even, a change in environment. So be open to new solutions on the home front. And two more that I'd like to point out. The Sun trines Uranus on January the 13th, same day as the full moon. This could bring new changes to your routines or your work. And so it's important for you to focus on those routines, focus on work, and try to find a new system with regards to your daily routines or planning for the future that can help you to be more efficient, and that will lead you forward in a very good way. Later in the month, on the 23rd, Mercury opposes Mars, so there could be some tension with regards to communication. You may feel like this adventurous need to kind of do your own thing or to go your own way, but then also recognize that you've got all these practical matters that you have to deal with at the same time. So be patient with yourself and try to avoid conflict whenever possible. All right, Sagittarius, that's what I have for you. Growth, adventure, and balance. That's your month of January. Growth, adventure, and balance. So I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful January 2025. As always, love and light. Mahalo nui loa. Kiss, kiss, and I'll see you on your next one. Until then, may you have absolutely beautiful days up ahead.